Hello students, welcome to this online course of hydraulics engineering. So in the previous lecture we have seen the numerical based on the various computation of various thicknesses, like we have computed the displacement thickness, the momentum thickness and the energy thickness, and we have seen also the various form of velocity distribution. We have derived the equation for these displacement and we have applied it on a given problem. Now today we are going to see the momentum equation and we will see the boundary layer separation. So let us start. So first is the momentum integral equation of the boundary layer, which was given by von Karman. So you can see it was given by Theodor von Karman, and this equation is popularly known as von Karman momentum integral equation. So it is to solve the boundary condition like problems, we have to have some type of equations. So this come from the, like, there is a very huge calculation here, and the final result is this. So this is the like out of various the equations, the scientists have tried to propose the solution. So with the help of exact method or approximate method, approximate methods for the solution have been developed for the case for which either the exact solution cannot be obtained or the same may involve a lot of computation. So if we are not able to solve the problem by exact method, that means like either it will be very complex or it is practically not possible to solve the problem. So for those type of problems we use the approximate method, and this equation has been developed with the help of approximate method only, and it is based on the application of momentum equation to the boundary layer, and the corresponding equation derived is known as momentum integral equation of the boundary layer, or von Karman's integral equation. So this is tau naught, that is boundary shear, divided by rho, that is the density, u is the free mean velocity, d theta is what, your momentum thickness, and x is the distance from the like leading edge, so dx by dt. So we have to calculate the rate of change of momentum thickness with respect to the distance from the leading edge. The momentum integral equation of the boundary layer expresses the relation that must exist between the overall rate of flux of momentum across the section of the boundary layer, the shear stress at the boundary surface, and the pressure gradient in the direction of flow. So this equation is combining three parameters. First is the overall rate of flux of momentum, the shear stress, and the pressure gradient. So pressure gradient is the very important parameter for any flow. Any given flow, pressure gradient should exist, then only the flow is possible. Without, like, if there is no change in pressure or there is no difference in pressure, so how the flow is going to be occur? Okay, so the pressure gradient is one of the fundamental like parameters for flow to happen. So this equation is combining these three parameters. Now what is separation of boundary layer? So we will see how this separation of boundary layer is occurring and how we can reduce it. So the boundary layer thickness is considerably affected by the pressure gradient in the direction of flow. If the pressure gradient is 0, the boundary layer continues to grow in thickness along the flat plate. So this is important point. When the pressure gradient is 0, then the boundary layer continues to grow in thickness along the flat plate. So if this is the your boundary layer, like the flat plate, if pressure difference is 0, that means everywhere pressure is same. So what is going to happen? Any section you check, P is same. So the thickness will increase throughout the boundary. As we are moving towards away from the leading edge, it will be increasing. With the decreasing pressure in the direction of flow, that is with negative pressure gradient, the boundary layer tends to reduce in thickness. So if this del P by del X is less than 0, this means P2 minus P1 is less than 0. That means P2 is less than P1. What does this mean? This mean like the pressure at the section 2, the downstream section is, if this is the boundary layer and these are two sections, this is section 1, this is section 2, so pressure at 2 is less than pressure at 1. Okay, if it is less than 0, then gradually it will decrease, this boundary layer will tend to decrease. Okay, now if the pressure gradient is increasing, that means pressure gradient is increasing in the direction of flow, that is positive, the pressure gradient will become positive, the boundary layer thickness rapidly decrease. Okay, so adverse pressure gradient plus the boundary layer shear decreases the momentum in the boundary layer, and if they both act over a sufficient distance, they cause the fluid in the boundary layer to come to the rest. That is, the retarded fluid particles cannot in general penetrate too far into the region of increased pressure owing to their small kinetic energy. So if the pressure gradient is adverse, that is negative pressure gradient, that means the pressure is higher in the downstream section. Okay, and due to this effect, and what is why adverse we are using adverse pressure gradient, because that is adverse to the flow, it is not allowing the flow to happen in normal way, so that is why this adverse term has been added to this pressure gradient, and the boundary shear is also there, so these two will cause the fluid to retard. Thus the boundary layer is deflected sideways from the boundary, separates from it and moves into the mainstream. This phenomenon is called the separation. So this separation I will show you with the diagram. Okay, so this is the diagram. So this is a surface, boundary is there, and flow is happening like this. So you can see like at A, B, C, D, E, there are 5 sections. We are checking what is happening. Okay, so here at A point, as you can see, the cross sectional area is reducing from A to C, then it is increasing from A to E. So cross section area is decreasing, that means velocity will increase, and if velocity will increase, the pressure will decrease due to Bernoulli theorem. Okay, so as the velocity is going to decrease, the area is decreasing, so velocity will increase, and the pressure is going to be less, so pressure gradient will be negative, so it will cause the separation. Here you will see the separation has occurred and reverse flow will be occurring, and this point is termed as separation point, because after this the fluid will flow like this. Okay, this contact has been vanished from the boundary. Now let us discuss in more detail. So consider the flow of the fluid over the curved surface as shown. So this is the fluid flowing on a curved surface. As the fluid flow around the surface, it is accelerated over the left hand section until point C. The velocity just outside the boundary layer is maximum. As the area is minimum, velocity will be maximum and pressure will be minimum. Okay, at this section the pressure is minimum as shown by the graph below the surface. So here no problem is there, the pressure is decreasing in this direction up to point C. Okay, so the here pressure is higher and here pressure is lower, so from higher pressure to lower pressure flow will exist, there is no problem. But from here the pressure was minimum, that means here pressure is higher. So from lower pressure to higher pressure flow is very it is not possible, the occurring of the flow from higher pressure to lower pressure. That is why due to momentum it will flow up till some point, but after some point due to this negative pressure gradient, what is going to happen, the flow is not possible and it will separate from the boundary. So this is all about the boundary layer separation. So thus from A to C the pressure gradient is negative, and the net pressure force on the an element of fluid in the boundary layer is in the direction of flow, which counteracts to some extent the slowing down effect of boundary on the flowing fluid, and thus the rate at which the boundary layer thickness is less than that for the flat flow flat plate will with zero pressure gradient. So the flow will occur as the pressure gradient is negative. Okay, so we need a negative pressure gradient for the flow, because we need the upstream pressure to be higher than the downstream pressure. So let us see how this flow is going to happen. However, beyond C point, so C was this the point of minimum pressure. The pressure after point C, the pressure is going to increase, and hence the net pressure force on an element of fluid in the boundary layer opposes the forward flow. Thus, at a certain distance from downstream point of C, the fluid near the boundary surface is soon brought to a standstill, and the velocity will become zero, and it will start separating from the boundary. The value of velocity gradient at the boundary surface is then zero at point D. So you can see at point D the velocity is ceases to exist and the gradient will become zero. The fluid is no longer able to follow the contour of the curved surface and it separates from it. So up till point D it was able to follow the trajectory as same as the curved boundary, but after that it is not possible due to positive pressure gradient, and it will separate from the boundary. The separation of the flowing fluid from the boundary first occurs at a point at where dV by the velocity gradient at boundary becomes zero, and this point is known as separation point. So point D is the separation point because the velocity gradient has become zero. So there is no difference in boundary and velocity is zero. So the fluid flow will come standstill and it will separate from the boundary. On downstream end of the separation point, a further retardation of the fluid close to the boundary can even have a reverse or back flow, as at it and at point E you can see the reverse flow can also occur. Okay, if all the points below which a reverse flow occur are joined by a smooth curve, a line dividing the forward and reverse flow is obtained, which is known as separation streamline. So you can see here it is, the separation streamline is shown. Let me just remove it. So this is your separation streamline. So this is the line dividing up, above it forward flow is there, below it reverse flow is there. So this is the line dividing the forward and backward flow. If in a region in between the boundary surface and the separation streamline, as a result of the reverse flow, large irregular eddies are formed in which much energy is dissipated as heat. So in the form of eddies, because there is random flow is there, so this will generate eddies and it will generate heat as a result. This region of disturbed fluid usually extend for some distance on the downstream. Since the energy of eddies is dissipated as heat, the pressure downstream remains approximately the same as the separation point. So pressure is same. Now separation occurs with both laminar and turbulent boundary layer. So this can happen in both type of flows. Either the boundary is laminar or the boundary layer formed is turbulent. But laminar boundary layer is more susceptible to earlier separation than turbulent boundary layer, because there is no momentum exchange and it is not possible to there is, after pressure has become minimum and the pressure gradient has become positive. So if boundary layer is there, laminar boundary layer is there, due to the uniform flow, the disturbance is not there. So who is going to support the flow? In turbulent flow, lots of eddies are there, chaos is there, so it will extend the flow due to more than the laminar boundary. This is because in laminar boundary layer, the increase of velocity with distance from the boundary layer is less rapid, and the adverse pressure gradient can more rapidly halt the slow moving fluid close to the boundary layer. On the other hand, in a turbulent boundary layer, the velocity distribution is much more uniform than in laminar boundary layer because of internal lateral mixing. So you have seen in turbulent flow the velocity distribution is logarithmic, and it is much more uniform towards the you can see this. So for this is, if these are two, so this is your, so you can see this is more uniform, this is changing every point, but this rapid change is not in the turbulent flow. Okay, clear? So separation of boundary layer greatly affects the flow as a whole, in particular the formation of a wake zone of disturbed fluid on the downstream. Wake zone is this thing. Here you can see this is the wake zone, this thing, when the reverse and forward flow is there. So the net force in the directional flow caused by such pressure difference is known as pressure drag or form pressure, the magnitude of which depends on the form or shape of the boundary layer and the resulting flow pattern obtained due to separation. So for convex boundary layer it will be different, separation will be different. For convex boundary layer it will be different, and for flat plate it will be different. In flat plate it is very rare because the change is not that much. Further, the flow in the divergent passage or diffuser is another example or in which the separation of boundary of the flow may be caused due to adverse pressure gradient prevailing there unless the angle of divergence is very very small. So this separation of boundary layer you might have seen, like if you are like a very high water is flowing, so in like in the hilly regions the rivers are there, so you might have seen like pressure the if this is the type of flow. Okay, so this is the continuously the water is coming like this, and here you can see the water is flowing like this. Okay, and here disturbance is there, so here the vacuum will be there. So this is the separation. Here from here this water is separated from the boundary. So like this, these all the practical things you have to just see, understand it, see it in the environment. Okay, since the boundary layer separation layer gives rise to additional resistance to the flow, attempt should be made to avoid separation by some means. So this is not a desirable thing, we have to minimize it. So we can make the like the smooth surfaces or the streamlined body so that the pressure gradient remains negative throughout. So various methods are there. One of these methods may be by developing such boundary shape for which the separation is as far as possible eliminated. The flow past a streamlined object such as airfoil is one such example. So the streamlined airfoil is an example of streamlined body, as I have told you. Apart from this, the separation may also be avoided by adopting suitable method or controlling the boundary layers. So the making the boundary smooth comes under the controlling measures which we can take to eliminate the boundary layer. So we cannot 100% eliminate, but we will try to minimize it whatever extent we can go. So this was all about boundary layer separation. In the tomorrow's lecture we are going to complete this chapter, and from next week we will be starting the new chapter. So this is all for today. Thank you.